Hey guys, welcome to Brian's Man Cave. Well, I was just watching some YouTube videos and Metal Jesus Rocks video popped up in my feed, and it was about the whole thing about physical versus digital video games. And I've talked about this a lot in the past, and his video was pretty good. I liked how he brought on a bunch of, pretty high profile YouTubers to talk about the subject. And, it was interesting watching it in the divide and how a lot of them were like, yeah, physical, physical, physical. And then there was Ishrit Gaming. I think I got her channel properly. But she was on the idea that she likes the whole digital feel. The fact that she doesn't have to have all this clutter behind her, and the physical media, and that's great because I kind of see that this is kind of a thing that we're going to have to get used to, and it's going to be a change that we're going to have to be kind of accept. And at the same time, I think there's always going to be a nostalgia factor that at some point people are going to want to have that physical feeling back, even if we go to all digital. And that was kind of the whole thing about a lot of what people were talking about in that video was that we're kind of going into that whether we like it or not. The major video game manufacturers, they're always looking for the more affordable, I don't know if you want to call it the easier way. It's just the way it's going, is that less packaging. I mean, let's take a look at this game here. This is my Napoleonic Wars game, and this got released not that long ago. This is a homebrew for the Intellivision, an ancient system if you're not aware. But yeah, I created this game, and it cost a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money to produce this physical product, to actually make a box, to have it, a manual inside, a cartridge, the overlays, all that stuff. Lots and lots and lots of money went into this physical product. And if you think about if I were to just release it as a digital copy, very little money would be spent. I mean, it would just be my programming time, the help from the graphics people and the sound people, and then it would just kind of stop at that point. There wouldn't be any of the actual manufacturing process and all that other stuff. So, yeah, making a digital game, in a sense, can end up being cheap. But in the long run, and what some of the people said was, you don't have anything tangible. You don't have anything you can hold on to. And that might be good for some people who don't care. Maybe they want everything digital. I mean, in the end, look around. You think about all the clutter you have. You think about all the stuff you have. All the stuff on your shelf here. It's like, do I need all that stuff? No, you don't need it. We want it. We like it. But we don't need it. And, if it comes down to, I just want to be able to play video games, fine. I can have my, I have a Nintendo Switch. To me, that is modern gaming in my field. I am a very old school gamer. Obviously, if you watch my channel, I play old games like, the Atari 2600, the Intellivision. And so my form of gaming goes back about 40 years. But if you're not as old as I am, you're probably like, modern gaming, whatever. I have like all these games. I downloaded on my PC, on my Switch, and you kind of don't care if they disappear or whatever happens to them. You move on to the next one. There isn't that nostalgia feel. And that's fine if that's the way you are. But it's very interesting the way things are going, and where we're gonna end up. But one of the things I wanted to talk about, kind of in this whole field, is that I was reading some of the comments and stuff on Metal Jesus's video, And one guy kind of brought up the whole thing. Well, actually, Metal Jesus himself, he picked up an album, a vinyl album of the I think it was the new Judas Priest album, and he's like, weirdly, things have coming back in physical form. And I do remember, actually myself, a long time ago when CDs became the norm, thinking that vinyl was done. It's gone, no more vinyl. And then when we had CDs for a while, and then when the MP3s came in, I'm like, oh crap, there goes CDs, done, and we'll never see CDs again. But strangely, we're kind of making this kind of, let's go back to the way we used to do things. And it's interesting that I remember in one of my videos where I was talking about this and I made the same reference about music, there was a comment saying that, music and CDs and vinyl and all that stuff are not the same thing as video games. And I was kind of like, well, why? I mean, video games is media. It's art, it's media, it's something that people get to they take a physical product, they put it into a machine of some sort, and they get some kind of entertainment out of it. How is that any different, between me putting in a record or a CD of music, or playing a digital file, versus a cartridge that has a video game on it? And so, yeah, I think Metal Jesus made a very good point in that it's kind of the same thing. I mean, we kind of have all this thing kind of flooding back. And I know I've kind of talked about this to death. We have things like this. This is the Atari Flashback. This is a physical device that plays old Atari games. And I think there's a desire for that. And I think we're just going to keep going through this motion, these loops of, at one point we want the digital, but at other points we want the physical. I think there's just, it just kind of both meshes at some point. It's a weird thing we're into right now. And then, of course, there's also collectibility. Some games are only produced in small quantities. And so, if you want it, you have to spend the money to get it. A digital can never do that, because once a digital format is out there, it's out there. It can just get replicated a billion times, and the value in it is zero. But if you want to have a game that existed at one point in time, and I'm gonna use this as an example, my Keystone Cops game on the Intellivision. I don't know if this will ever get released again in physical form. I mean, it got released. There was a certain amount that got out there, and maybe that might be it forever. Maybe, Intellivision Revolution put this one out, and Intellivision Revolution has a ton of games, and they might never put this thing out again. So, yeah, you got a chance to buy a physical copy. There's a cartridge in here. You can put this in your original Intellivision and play it anytime you want. Or you have to rely on a digital copy, which may or may not exist depending on the way things are. Even if you have the digital copy, you might have it on a computer, and then one day that computer dies, and then you've lost your digital copy, and if there's no way to get that back, what are you going to do now? It's just an interesting, I don't know. The whole concept of it, the whole idea behind it, it always interested me. And that's why I've talked about this, and lots of other YouTubers before me and after me have always talked about this conversation about the digital media versus, physical. And I know we're going in that direction. I go on the Nintendo thing for my Switch, and I see all these games available. And yeah, it is convenient to just download it onto my Switch. But what's going to happen when my Switch dies? How am I going to play those games later? I can't just buy another Switch and play them again. I don't have the digital or the physical copies, I mean. So once my Switch dies, and it's the same thing with my Nintendo Wii. I downloaded a few games off the eShop onto my Nintendo Wii, and I've since disconnected my Wii, And I don't know if those games will be available later on. I don't know. It just mind-boggling. Anyways, yeah, I wanted to throw this video out there because it's an ongoing topic, and I think it's interesting. And we're just gonna keep talking about this until everybody's sick of hearing it. Is digital better than physical? I want to know. Throw your comments down below. Hope you like the video. Hope you subscribe. And I'll talk to you later.